Miss Tanya Collins.
2, 1, 0.
Hi, good
Moneyality.
good evening, everyone, and happy Monday, happy Moneyality Monday. I am excited. We've had a long weekend and it has been exciting. I hope a lot of people were able to, be able to worship in the way that they wanted and to have family over, maybe have some really great meals. I had a really good time yesterday, no, Sunday, because wow, yeah, so it was yesterday. So I had a good time yesterday. I ate with some family and it was nice. So I am here today on Monday night doing my thing. I am Tanya Collins, the Miss Moneyologist. I am here to talk about Moneyality, the ace of personal finance. And before we get started, I want to talk about our sponsors. And as we're doing that, I am also going to be bringing up the slides from previous times so I can just kind of go over all the different types of moneyalities. But before we do that, let's go into the sponsors. Okay, so the first one is a nonprofit called Some Kind of Way Solutions. Their focus is financial focus. Is a cultural connections and life lessons organization. And the purpose of it is to have students, middle high school students, to be a part of life through financing, through meeting different cultures, and also just learning about life as you move. And the goal of that company, of the nonprofit, is to take children that go through the Moneyality course to some other place in overseas or some other place where they have a different currency. So they'll have opportunity to understand the cultural connections when you're dealing with people with their money and how they interact about money, the rate of exchange. So that's what Moneyality will be connected to Some Kind of Way Solutions with. So that is an amazing organization and they are going to be doing great things in the future. So remember, Some Kind of Way Solutions going forward. And the next sponsor is Joy Media Group. Joymediagroup.net is her website, and the number is 901-618-9501. And for all your media needs, and even to the point of having needs for business and having someone to coach you through it, please reach out to Joy Media Group. And the next one is Nick Venti Design. It's the one-stop shop for everything digital. His number is 662-902-9737, and his website is nickventi.com, and it's nickventive.com, nickventi.com. So thank you, and I hope you all patronize them. So before we get started, I want to do a recap of the 5 Moneyality types. But tonight, our focus is going to be how the ACE in Moneyality operates and what the purpose of it is. So before we get started, let's do a recap of the Moneyality types. Let's move them. I'm sorry. Oops. Can we take that back? Oh, no, I'm sorry. We can start there. No, we can start there. So the first one is the keeper. And I talked about that maybe the second week. And the keeper is the serious saving circulator. And when I say circulator, we're talking about movement. And that's going to be a topic for today. We're going to be talking about how you circulate your money. And the keeper is the one that saves. They are really great about making sure they have access to money. They like to see their money in their accounts. They like to just look at it. And that makes them have that feel good where they feel they're always going to have access to it. They do invest and things like that, but initially they are bargain hunters. They love to have good deals, and they love to keep as much money as they have close to them. So those are the keepers, and they are the serious saving circulators. So that is talking about them. And the next one is the splurger, which is the extreme circulator. And when I say extreme, it means they love to share their money with all types of things. They love to purchase things. They have they do like the instant gratification. They love to be able to buy things, and they're not even selfish. They will buy things for other people, but they do feel like their goal is to maybe just be able to splurge, to be able to use their funds and without necessarily having a budget. And so that's why I am here to give them strategies and let them know that being a splurger, a person that do circulate their money often, is not a horrible thing if you're understanding how you can use strategies to start putting money aside by using the Moneyality circulation formula. And we'll be talking about that later. And the next one is a tracker, and they are the security planning circulators. And those are the ones that, these are the people, these are the children that are focused on making sure their future is protected. They're always ready to make sure they have a list. They're really good with lists. They are very good with planning out things. They are really in the purpose of making sure that their future is in line with their desires of how they want to move. So those students will know what jobs they want to take. They'll know how to even get there step by step. They know their class schedule before school starts. They are very interested in making sure that their plans work out for the future. So those are the security planning circulators, the trackers. And the adventurer, they are the risky, thrill-seeking circulators. And they are a really cool group of people. They are the ones that are going to be risky. They go high risk. They always, as I put down here, they're either going to be billionaires or they're going to be bankrupt, because they are really into that thrill of if they find out that there is a stock that they want to make a lot of money on, here's a top stock, they will put all of their eggs in the basket, because they feel a bigger payoff is better than kind of doing it little by little. They are not afraid to take a risk. And those are some really great qualities. And we're going to talk about strategies on how they maintain their life and be able to keep pretty much a balance without having to be too risky. They are visionaries. They are entrepreneurs. And they are people, like I say, you have to be a risk taker. You have to be someone who don't mind like really getting into the ditches of understanding that an entrepreneur is a lot of work, and that is something that's different, and you got to be able to have that vision. So the adventurers, they are really a great kind of balance between the five of them. But I will tell you, they do need to have someone to help them kind of make sure their finances are in line with maybe a personal finance person, but they are cool. So those are the adventurers. And the last one is minglers. Mingler equals carefree, socializing circulator. They are the people, they're all the students who don't have an attachment to money. They don't feel that money is necessary. They understand that you do need to purchase things with money, but that is not their thing. They are really big about socializing. They want to have relationships more than they worry about their money. So those are a really cool group of students, are people as well. And I like the minglers for a lot of reasons, because they keep it calm. They keep it in a position where I think we should be able to form relationships and not allow money to be a dividing factor in relationships, and that can pose a problem. So we're going to talk more about them as we go through, but they were on the last episode. So if you want to know more about a mingler, you can just watch my last episode of Moneyality Monday. Okay, so with that being said, those are the 5, and tonight we're going to talk about how did I come up with the ACE, and ACE is Moneyality, the ACE of personal finance. So I came up with that because I just kept on thinking. At first, it was just the AC, and I thought, okay, that was activate and circulate. And then I realized that once you understand the mindset of activating your mind, and you understand what I mean when I say circulating your finances and your money, well, I was thinking, what are they going to do after that? Like, once you know how it works from your mind, once you know how to circulate it properly around, then my guess is that you want to elevate yourself. And so it became Elevate, which is the ACE. And I love that. Of course, I love that acronym. And tonight we're going to go through each one of them, and I'm going to talk about how they relate to the 5 Moneyality types and just an overview of what the ACE is about. So the first one, as I said, activate. So activate is to make active or more active. And I will tell you, I was watching the Family Feud, and I saw this lady on there. She was at the end getting ready to do the guessing the numbers at the end, whatever, I forgot what it's called, but at the end of Family Feud, when there's 2 family members and they're guessing the answers and seeing what the scores are to get the $20,000. Yeah, the $20,000. This one lady in particular came up, and she was getting ready to talk to Steve about whatever questions he was going to ask her. And so before he got started, she says, Heavenly Father, I want you to activate me to be able to act. Now, she might have said activate my mind, but I think she said, I need you to activate me so I can be ready for these answers. And I was like, wow, I love that. I mean, what other way do we prepare ourselves by getting things through to our mind is that we have to activate them. And that's through everything. Anything of your thought processes, you're activating your mind to think about something, and activating it is one thing. But when you're activating it and you're focused, it can really change the dynamics of how you start to think about things. Our minds are really strong. Minds, brains are the key factors of our bodies and the movements that we make. And so to activate it is to make it become active, not to just be stuck in one area. Like everybody thinks about, they get up in the morning and they come in from sleep. And so all of a sudden their mind starts working. They're activating it. They're deciding what are they going to do for the beginning of the day and how their day may even be going. So I love that activation of activating your mind. So I started with that because I am going to be dealing with students. My target audience is 7 to 17. And the first rollout will be with middle and high school students, I guess about 12 to 17. So how do I want to get their attention? I need them to be focused. I want them to understand their Moneyality type. And how for them to do that, they're going to have to activate their minds. They're going to have to focus and concentrate and be aware of all the things that come along with how their mind works around their Moneyality type, the 5 that I just went over. And I could give examples of activate your mind. So let's say a student I have down here, she is known to her classmate as the smartest girl in the class. And her name is Latoya, and she enjoys reading. So she sets goals to read 5 books a month. And when she reads these, the title of the book, it alerts her mind. So that's how she stimulates. Like, what is she going to be reading? She reads the cover and she sees if that's something she likes. And then she decides if the book inspires her. And from there, I will say she activates her mind to prepare her for reading that book. And those books about finance, sometimes I'm sure those are the pushbacks you get from students, or not even the pushback. Sometimes they're just not even exposed to those books. And so that's my goal. You're going to be exposed to understanding how your personality is centered around money. And we're going to activate your mind to do that. And you're going to be amazing after that mind is activated and moving. And we're going to move from activate. So this activate your mind. And the next one is circulate. Now, circulate is kind of interesting. How do we circulate? And where did I come up from that? Well, for me, I have listened to a lot of financial advisors. I've listened to a lot of financial things online. I have read a lot of financial information. And I was thinking, okay, when you think about the word spending, it seems such a harsh word to me. And people will say, oh, you spending too much and you're just whatever. And I was like, wow, I don't want that to be the case. And so I was listening to someone's podcast, and I remember hearing that they were wanting to move their money through their neighbors, through their neighborhood, and they wanted their neighborhoods to grow. And I was like, well, how do you do that? For us to do that, just like anything, you have to start circulating. You have to start using your money in your community. And that was really a strong foundation for me, for us, for students to understand that when they go to the corner store and they purchase candy or whatever from the candy lady, and she takes that same money that they have given her and she goes to buy the candy, and the person that she gets the candy from may say, okay, well, I get the candy from Miss Sue who makes it for me. So that $1, if we're doing just $1, has circulated through 3 people easily. And even if we wanted to just make it go all the way, you can always see how it circulates, it goes around. And I wanted them to know that through that circulation process, when it says to pass or to cause to pass from place to place or from person to person, it is important for me to make sure that you're not concerned about spending it and leaving it. It does sound like, oh, wow, well, when I give it to them, I don't get it back. Well, in essence, you do. You get a product. Normally, you get that back. But even through that product you get, you need it for whatever reason. So let's say you just need it for food, and then you eat that and you say, wow, well, am I supposed to get my dollar back because I'm circulating? Well, it's not going to come like that. I always say in my course, it's not the boomerang effect where you throw it out and it just comes immediately back to you. But through that circulation process, you're able to purchase something. That person uses that same money. And in our neighborhoods, it would be amazing if I went to the bank and got $1 and then I take it to the corner store, and the corner store people are buying cakes and pies from a young lady or Miss Sue who lives in the neighborhood, and she buys her groceries from the neighborhood grocery store, that is just a circulation, and it does come back to you. It will come back to you in some things, maybe not financial, but just in rewards of the community building and the community growing as a team, because we are moving our money around. We are making sure that it goes around enough to fulfill that community. And of course, you start with communities and then you can move outside of communities. And I definitely wanted to horn in on, as African Americans and as an African American, the building of our communities and being able to circulate is really important to me. I know that we can always talk about other nationalities are that are races that are doing it. And I think it's not that we haven't wanted to do it. We already know about Black Wall Street and how that money was circulated. It's just now for us to go back to number one, to activate our minds to understand how important it is to circulate within your community. And then from there, you circulating in your community, even if your job is outside of your community, that's even more of how it's a return to you, because you take it from your job that's outside of your community, you bring it and you're circulating it in. So your community is increasing in value. So you are receiving something back from your circulation. So it works. It's just an amazing part of putting your mind to activate it, to circulate your money. So that is how I came up with the concept of circulating. And I just did not want us to stay stuck on the word spend. Spend will put you in a position, a headspace where you can really feel that that's a negative. And most time people say it, they say it in a form of a negative. I rarely hear someone says, oh, you're spending on that. It's normally when they say, are you spending money on that? It just doesn't always come across as a positive. And I'm trying to think of like, what would I hear somebody say it and it's just automatically like, yeah, that's a positive. I don't know it. If you know it, put your comments at the bottom and I will look at them, because it is important for us to know that spending is not where we are. So we're not trying to leave anything at one location. We want all of it to move and flow easily, especially through our community. So that's circulate. And the last one is elevate. And so for elevate, it means to raise or lift. And as I said earlier, once I got your mind activated, so I do this really cool thing. I say we activate our minds, we circulate our money, and we elevate our math. So how do we do that? Elevating our math is the end result of once we have created the mindset and we got that, and you're really comfortable with who you are and why you make the financial choices you make. And then you go to understanding, now I'm going to take that information and I'm going to start applying it to the money I get. And whatever that money is, whether it's an allowance, whether it's a paycheck, or family or friends giving you birthday money, that becomes how you learn to circulate your money. And even through those gifts that someone give you, if they purchase those things from somewhere, they are definitely using those items to be circulated back to you. So elevate. After you've done those two things, I don't want you to stay where you are. I want you to look at that, take those strategies and say, wow, now that I know this information about myself, because you're learning your personal money personalities individually just for you. So there is no question. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. Those are going to be Moneyality types that are designed just for you through taking my Moneyality assessment. And so once you take that assessment, it shows like what your strong areas are. And that's all a part of activating our minds, where we understand where we are getting those choices from. And then we have, of course, again, circulate. And then once you know those two things, you're going to elevate. You're just going to go high. You're going to raise your conscious of using finances to the good. You want to start making the changes to be financially free, or just being able to make the choices that gives you the comfort that you may need. And you really need comfort in all 5 of those money personalities. And I'm not going to go back into that real far tonight, but I want you to know that elevating yourself is amazing. We do not want to be stagnant ever. I mean, you always want to be inspired to do something. And it doesn't have to be huge things. Like, I'm the type of person that want to elevate. Like, I want to elevate this business. I want millions of children to use it. But that's my level of elevation. Someone else's level of elevation may be to get a raise at their job, and then they are excited, they have that extra income, and now they are circulating that money, and they are moving, and their mindset has changed. So it just, those three things are happening. You're activate your mind, you're circulating your money, and then you're elevating. Your elevation was to get the raise, or do you want a new home, or do you want a new car? All of those things are a part of raising and lifting yourself. And even if you're buying a new car or a better car, you are elevating yourself to do something based on an improvement from the activating of your mind, from the circulation of your money. So you've elevated your lifestyle. And now, so I'm saying that you elevate your math, and that is focused somewhat of children, but as you think about it, elevation of math, money and math are hand in hand. You totally have to have an idea of doing the basic math to be able to understand what currencies are and how to count the currencies. And of course, my story is that I learned about money through using coins. And so using those coins, I learned how to count. I learned how to use pennies. I learned how to use nickels and dimes. So to elevate in math, you're not only just elevating your lifestyle, but you are also improving and increasing your ideas about math and being more fluid and being more understanding of doing math problems and being able to use your mind outside of a calculator. I use a calculator for sure. I am not the best at just running off numbers and somebody say, oh, what's 200,000 minus 100,000? Oh, I don't have to use a calculator for that, but I'm not going to be the fastest in doing money in my mind. But what I can do is use my mind to do those math problems on paper. I'm amazing. I loved math in high school and elementary, high school. I've always loved the numbers. And so for me to elevate my math is to be able to count and also understand how your money will be divided. So are you dividing your money even half? That's part of math. If you divide your money into 5 different areas, that's 1/5 of your money. So you are using math throughout all of it. And that's what I want you to be able to take away, that you're elevating your lifestyle through understanding your mathematics and able to use your money wisely. And who does not want to know how to count their money? And of all the people, even when I have met older people, my granddaddy was really good at calculating in his head math. And so they had to learn how to do the numbers in their head. Some people are good at doing the numbers on paper, and then you got some people that can do a combination of both. But knowing those things, you're not going to get cheated, because you're going to know how to add and subtract. You're going to know how to divide if you have to divide and say, I want to give you half my money. So math is such a big part of currency and understanding Moneyality that is why I want people to be elevated in that area. So tonight, those have been my powerhouse tools of understanding the model that I'm using, the ACE model, where it's activate, circulate, and activate your mind, circulate your money, and elevate your math. So those are my 3 model for the ACE. That's the ACE model, has those 3 sections. And for any questions about those and the foundation of why I say that, just please put things in the comments area. I have been amazed and happy that I have been able to see the difference when I was a middle school teacher, of how you start showing children coins, they start understanding math. And I definitely will suggest to parents, start your children with coins. I mean, coins may be extinct at some point, but right now they still exist. And it's important for them to understand how to get change. If they're in a store and they're not swiping a card, they give someone an actual bill, a 5 or 10 or dollar or whatever. They need to understand how to get their change. So let's make sure that those 3 factors are starting very young, and know that Moneyality is here to help you if those are, if when you are ready, actually not if you're, when you are ready, we are here to help you. So have an amazing Monday night. This has been Monday Night Moneyality. I am excited. I am Tanya Collins, the Miss Moneyalogist, and look forward to seeing me Monday. Take care. Peace.
Moneyality, Moneyality, with the Moneyalogist, Miss Tanya Collins.
2, 1, 0.